Hello and welcome to What's Map for Cities Skylines, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. There are thousands of items on the workshop now, so finding the right one for your next city build is a huge task. So each day, Monday to Saturday, we'll review some using our 5-star rating and the coveted seal of approval. So join me, fellow Skylines explorers, as we venture out to today's new land. Who am I? I'm BonBonB, and you are very, very welcome.
Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to What's Map, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. BonBon here. How are you doing? Right, well, we've made it to Thursday again. Does it seem like more than a week since the last Thursday? I know Easter's completely thrown me out. Hopefully you're on the ball more than me. Anyway, so what do we do on Thursdays? Well, we go rummaging through the archives to one of the older maps. What we call Throwback Thursday. And today's map is over 2.5 years old. We're going back pre-move it, pre-everything really. This map is called Emden Fixed by Sonic Nurse. Fixed because apparently the original had some breaks in the highway, which ironically is what we had in yesterday's map. Weird, eh? What's the chances? There's your start square, perfectly adequate. Water and connection and everything you want. The resources, a little bit of early field painting, and that's it. That's all there is there. Certainly enough to be playing vanilla style if you want to. What do we need off of the workshop? Well, first of all, you need to hit subscribe, which I failed to do there, but there we are. That's about it. Now, they do recommend using clarity as the LUT. I've got to be honest with you. When I started recording this, I received a phone call, and I took the phone call and completely forgot to change the LUT. So we are running here with, I believe it was the realistic 1.2 LUT. But yes, I'm sorry about that. Should have been clarity, and this is a fail on my behalf. -1 star for BonBonB. Now these bridges are fine. There's something about all the bridges on this map. They're all absolutely fine, yet they're all slightly flawed. I'm not marking any of them there, mind you, for it, because although they're flawed, they're absolutely fine. You'll see what I mean when we get to the next one as well. It's just, I don't know, it's I don't know, not even odd. They're fine. I don't know, what am I moaning about? I've no idea. Anyway, this intersection here is quite wiggly. Quite like it. All the ramps are fine. Nice and smooth and gentle, and all the heights of the bridges are absolutely fine. It's an absolutely fine intersection. No problem with that at all. And if we head off this way, we are heading towards the start square. It's another one of those bridges. See, just nothing wrong with it. Just it's not quite perfectly aligned with the pillars, and oh no, it's fine. It's fine. Stop moaning, BonBon. But I like moaning. What am I going to do if I'm not going to moan? I'm going to ooh and ah. Oh, okay, I'll do some oohing and ahhing. Look at these roads. Ooh. And rail over road there. Ah. Okay, enough of that. We'll look at the rail in a minute. That bridge we will focus on. Here we go. These roads. So this is probably the worst bridge on the map. You can see one of them's much longer than the other. And I don't know, it's fine. Stop moaning. Sorry. Whingy. It's starting to be in a whingy kind of mode today. I'm blaming Easter. Nobody bought me an Easter egg this year. Anyway, that goes off to the fog if we go that way. We're not going that way. We're going to go this way. And why? Just because when we get to the fog this way, we've got something to look at. And once again, bridges here. Short on the underside and long on the overside. No major problems with it. It's perfectly, yes, you know, fine. This map is actually, considering its age, and I would moan about a few things if it was a more recent map. Look at the roads here. Perfectly straight here. This one, however, is a bit wiggly. Straight compared to wiggly. If you get hypnotized if you concentrate on the road lines here. Oh, yes. Anyway, as we get up towards the fog here, this bridge here, this one's less fine. It's not perfectly aligned, and why have we got a suspension bridge over such a small gap? So I've got a few, but this is right in the fog. If you're playing vanilla, you're never going to see that. Never going to see it. Okay, next we've got the rail. This rail bridge is slightly squinty, i.e. more hanging over one edge and not quite reaching on the other. That said, there's actually nothing wrong with it. It's just not perfectly centered. I mean, how can I moan about these things? I mean, it's almost a perfectly flat map. There is some undulation, but there's no real reason to complain about any of this stuff so far. Everything is perfectly... Oh, you can say it. Go on, say it for me. Thank you. I'm getting fed up using that word. I'm boring myself here. Perfectly good bridge there. No problems with that. I'm going to try and avoid the F word. That four-letter F word I've been saying so often. A slight little humpback on this bridge for the rail. Not a major problem. And moving will have that fixed in about 1 second. Anyway, that heads off to the fog in that direction if we keep pushing on that way. But if we carry on this way instead, we'll hit another one of these perfectly reasonable, avoiding the F word, perfectly reasonable bridge. But this one, here we go. This is where we slip up. Way too steep there. Admittedly, yes, older, and too steep on that side as well. But it's still too steep, regardless of how old the map is. We could have tapered that one up and done a little tapered bridge. Yeah. Anyway, hello train, goodbye train. Another little bridge there, and then we'll head off towards the fog, which means we can prepare ourselves for the asset review. Time. I said time, not never mind. This one, we're returning to our good friend Honker. Apparently, this building is still in construction. That's how new it is. It's the rehab centre by Honker, and it's glorious. Very modern, lots of glass in this one, and yeah, it's looming. It's not the tallest skyscraper, but it is looming over my little city of Assetville here. The city purposely built so I can showcase these assets on Asset Corner. So we come up to the top and have a look on the top. Think possibly I would have liked to have seen a little helicopter pad on the top there. I don't know, just get a feeling for a helicopter pad on the top. A little bit of a lack of definition on the top I would like to, but it's a new building, why would there be definition? There's not going to be stains on the new building, is there? No. Anyway, that's Rehab Centre by Honker, today's asset. As we head over to Themington Island for the theme and luck review, where we look at Vatican Frost, winter theme by Hadith, with LUT for snowfall, and have a look at the factoids. A couple of factoids today for you. The largest crabs in the world, weighing more than 13 kilograms or 28 pounds, are found off of the coast of Japan. The second largest crabs of the world are found in the underpants of one of my ex-girlfriends, but that's a completely different story. I'm sorry, get that image out of your head now. In the 18th century, many women went to the trouble of having their gums pierced, so they could use hooks to secure their false teeth. Hooks, ouch. Just ouch. Definitely moved on from the 18th century. I wonder what we'll be doing in the 22nd century. Now there's a thought. The future. It's a haze. It's a hazy place. Right, if we're even around in the future. The shipping routes, we've got one that goes all the way up the river there, and a coat hanger type thing here. Do you guys still use coat hangers? Or have we moved on to the 22nd century for that as well? Water flow. Now we've got two water sources on the map, there and there, right next to each other. One obviously much deeper than the other, and that's pushing water down the canals there. If I show you the water flow now, there's not too much out here in the bay, or in the sea I guess it is. And if you look here, the water's pushing in from the sea. This is actually the sea. I'll talk a bit more about the actual geography in a little while. This is based on a real place, by the way, in Germany. The water's pushing in from the sea up the canals rather than down the canals and into the sea. And as we come up this way, it's still pushing up, and in a minute we will find yeah, an offshoot here. The water's coming down flow now, and it's pushing down this canal. And this then comes to this canal, which is then pushing back up again towards this lake, which is like a holding area where we've got water coming in from both angles, and evaporation is keeping that lake at the right level. So yeah, so there, right. Then if we find our water source areas, which is down here by the start square, very useful place to have the water source, just to keep things moving away from the start square, down the canals, everything works fine, even if it isn't quite accurate. This is, like I say, based on the real place, Emden, which is in Germany. If you look off that way, that heads off to the North Sea, and turn left, you'll get to the Netherlands. And then this is a main river that comes up this way. And then everything else you see are canals. Very nicely done too. Admittedly, I would like to see the edges of the canals tidied up. We've got some very nice dock areas already chiselled in here. Obviously Emden's a big dockland area. Done no research on this at all, but I thought I'd have a quick look at where it is on the map. But yeah, these once again, these riverbanks are a little bit tall. You're talking about 10 metres in height, which is pretty steep, if I'm honest with you. Pretty steep. 10 metres is a big old drop. But that's fine for playing. Playing the game is absolutely fine. If we come down and have a look, it's not perfectly flat. There is some undulation, a little bit of undulation. It is a fairly flat part of the world. So I wasn't expecting any mountain ranges or anything like that on this particular map. Lots of fields, all sketched in. The fields are pretty large, but believably large, I think, possibly. We did have one the other day, which was like 2 kilometres long. Your start square field there, perfectly good as well. I think everything's kind of like falls into place. We've got these lakes up the top here, which once again, even they've got these fairly steep banks as well. But considering the age of the map, I kind of can, well, I would say I can't really allow it, but I can understand it. I will mention them because you'll probably want to tidy them up a little bit. And so, aesthetically, I think it's okay, you know. I think it's okay, especially considering its age. Far from a 5-star map, but I think it deserves more than a 3, so I'm going to give it a 4th star for aesthetics. Detailing, as usual with the older maps, much harder to detail to a high standard, and that is definitely the case here. I think I can only give this 3 stars for detail, but there's nothing major that needs tidying up. Perfectly adequate score, 3 stars by the way. Gameplay potential, apart from the fact that you've got to tidy a few things up before you get started, pretty much unlimited. If the detailing score had been, say, 4 stars, this would be 5 stars for gameplay. It's not, so I'm only going to give it 4 stars for gameplay, just because you need to do some work before you get started. But anyway, that 4, 3 and 4 Emden fixed by Sonic Nurse, and unusually I'm going to give this the BonBonB seal of approval, because it just needs some tidying up before you get started, and then it's a perfectly adequate map. Yes, the water flow's running slightly in the wrong direction, and perfectionists will have a big problem with that, but it won't actually stop you building a good city on there. So yeah, my seal of approval for building a city. Thanks for watching, commenting, liking and subscribing. Join me tomorrow for yet another map in the What's Map series. It's the Patreon request day tomorrow. These guys have voted in a good one for you. A really good one. Well, I'm assuming it's a good one. I've not checked it yet. So tune in tomorrow to find out. See you then. Have a great day. Bye now.